Hey yo, Hiroto,
Yeah.
I got something to say. I'm not actually going to sing it. Welcome to the video. Just wanted to come on here and talk about a video I just watched, and it's getting a polarizing kind of response online. Some people are saying this is awesome. Some people are saying, flipping. So it's something that the Aussie Flipper posted about timing the JB Hi-Fi sales and getting the best deal at the JB Hi-Fi sales so that he can buy stuff and then flip it online. Now, obviously, we're aware of scalpers, we're aware of people who flip stuff with the sole intention to sell those online. We're aware of it. We are definitely aware that these people exist. But the response to this video has been somewhat positive, but also it's like a polarizing video. In collector communities online, especially on Facebook, I'm seeing a lot of response of people saying, yeah, this is the type of stuff we don't like. But also, there's some people who are like, well, this is kind of going to keep physical media alive. If more people are buying, then more people are essentially, JB Hi-Fi is getting a signal that this is profitable. So I can see both sides. So here's my opinion on it. I watched all of the Aussie Flippers thing. I'm not going to get into what he done. I will link it in the description. You can go and watch the Aussie Flipper if you want to see what he bought and the profit margins. What I want to talk about is essentially, look, everyone knows I had a big thing at the JB Hi-Fi sales. I've already moved it over to the collection, into the greater collection. This is nothing. This is just stuff I'm sorting. But I've moved all that stuff. Everyone knows from my last 3 videos that I went and had a big shop at JB Hi-Fi during the sales. But I didn't buy any of that with the sole intention to flip it. Now, in the past couple of months, people know I've been selling parts of my collection. I sold Star Wars, for example. But when I look at the margin I made on Star Wars, I didn't go in with the profit margin of I must make money on this. I went in with like, okay, I paid X amount of dollars for the steelbooks of the series that I imported. I paid X amount of dollars for this, for the movies. All up, I should get this amount, and I got a tiny bit more, I think, maybe a bit less. I don't know. It would have been right on about how much I paid. But I didn't go in with the thought that, hey, I should flip this for as much as possible because I can make as much as possible on physical media. No. If you're going in with that mentality, that's the wrong mentality. But I understand the profit margins of a JB Hi-Fi get one free sale, buy one get one free. I understand why the Aussie Flipper went and did that. Now, do I think flippers are bad for the industry? Yes. For the collector community that I'm in, I think that people flipping movies, especially online when you get scalpers who sell these things and think, oh, this is a pristine, especially when they buy every copy of something and then try to flip it. That's annoying. Because if I wanted to go and get like a Nightmare on Elm Street, or, I got it now, but let's say I was looking for that everywhere, same with the Bond collection, and scalpers bought 14 different copies of it, that's a problem. Where I have a problem with it is when actual collectors who do want it in their collection can't get it because some scalper went in or some flipper went in and said, I'm going to buy this. I have a problem with somewhat of collectors should be allowed to get it first. And I think limits should be put on certain things, like put a limit of like 1 per customer or 2 per customer for physical media, especially when you're dwindling down the physical media era. You see a lot of stores not carrying physical media, and especially with JB, they've put a lot of their stores no longer carry physical media. Stuff in the Sydney area, I've noticed stores shut down. I've noticed, big physical media stores downgrade their collections. I'm looking at East Gardens, for example. I'm looking at the Leichhardt store that shut down. I'm looking at Oxford Street that had a good physical media selection. Really, in the city, I know World Square got rid of theirs. There's a lot of stuff where JB Hi-Fi have really got cracked down in the physical media space. But I think collectors should be allowed to get it first. Now, where I agree with the Aussie Flipper, where I agree with the Aussie Flipper is, look, reality. That just fell. Let me pick it up because I don't want the audio going on this and me having to plug something back in. Where I agree with the Aussie Flipper is, look, it's a really good sale. And if you're selling to make a margin, I get, like, we all don't like people making a margin on this. But where I agree with the Aussie Flipper and where I can actually understand and do support somewhat of, hey, let flippers buy whatever they want, is, look, we don't even know what physical media we're getting anymore. We don't know if we're going to get a physical media release in Australia. We don't know what we're going to get. So when I look at that, if Aussie Flipper goes in and spends freaking $500, $1,000, $5,000 on physical media, and let's say the average collector couldn't spend that much. That's $5,000 getting spent on physical media in JB Hi-Fi, who get it from the distributor who says, hey, we're moving X amount of this title, can we get more of these produced? JB Hi-Fi has the power to signal to the distributors that, hey, this is a really popular title, can we get more of these? You know, Nightmare on Elm Street, for example, very popular. You know, the Bond collection, you know, the Connery Bond collection, very popular. This is where I can actually understand where if someone like the Aussie Flipper went into a store and said, hey, I'm going to buy everything here and I'm going to buy a big amount. I understand if he buys one, get one's free. I understand that his profit margin, yes, he's looking at profit margins, but also it is signaling, and it's better for collectors overall. I'm a collector. It's great for collectors overall that we essentially are giving signals to distributors to say, keep releasing physical media. We're giving signals to JB Hi-Fi to keep your physical media sections. This is what is good from someone like Aussie Flipper going in and buying a big collection, because I'm playing devil's advocate here. I understand the collector side of it. Yes, we don't like flippers, we don't like people who go in and just buy with the sole intent of flipping it for money. I agree. Where I disagree, and where I think Aussie Flipper might be somewhat okay in this regard, is that it signals distribution companies like the Disneys, the studios. Disney doesn't release in Australia anymore, but it signals like Paramount, it signals, there's not even a 20th Century Fox anymore, but you know, it signals, what is the other one? Sony, it signals Warner Brothers. You know, it signals the big companies out there that, hey, this release is doing well. Hey, someone came in and spent $5 grand on physical media. Great, let's keep our physical media sections at JB Hi-Fi. Let's keep somewhat of a few stores with physical media selections. This is where it can be positive. Yes, we don't have to like Aussie Flipper, we don't have to agree with him. Yes, we can all think it's a bit grubby to flip physical media online to collectors like myself and collectors who else buys it for profit. I get it, we don't like that sort of stuff. But you know what? If it signals to distribution companies and signals JB Hi-Fi that we still want physical media in store and we want to see sales like this, then it tells JB Hi-Fi, hey, what's the profit margin on these? Okay, it costs $5 per disc or whatever it costs to produce 4K. Okay, we sell them for, I don't know, $36.95 or whatever. Okay, we sell it for $39.98. Okay, let's do a good sale, buy one, get one free. We're still making profits. But hey, if people want to go and flip it, let them. But at the end of the day, like, I understand that I'm on both sides of the fence with this one. Would I agree with flipping it? No, I don't agree with it. I mean, if you've sat on something for a few years, let's say with Star Wars, for example. I sat on Star Wars for a few years, wasn't watching it. I decided that one day, I'm going to turn this hat back to front because it's annoying me. I decided one day that I don't really use this, but at that time, mostly Disney had pulled out of Australia. So the releases I had were rare and they were hard to get in Australia. And I pretty much got my money back out of them. But also at the end of the day, like, that lets another collector have them. And it's out of print, so it's like it's hard to get it all in one contained thing. I'm thinking about even doing the same with my Paramount collection. Not Paramount, what's it called? My Pixar collection. I'm thinking about doing the same because I don't watch Pixar as much. Now people might say, oh, you're going to want that back later on. I might not sell it, I don't know. But this is the mentality. If it's out of printing, you've sat on it for like 5 years and said, you know, I'm just not watching it, I might as well sell this to another collector. I can agree with that sort of, like, sell it on, let another collector have it. But going in with the sole intent to JB Hi-Fi and saying, I must make as much profit as possible, I don't agree with that. Where I can understand and where I can actually be devil's advocate for is that it will send a signal back to the corporations who make physical media, saying, keep producing it. It'll send a signal to JB Hi-Fi corporate saying, hey, we just made a big amount of money on physical media. Maybe we should keep it in a few more shops. Maybe we should return our physical media section to somewhere like World Square. Maybe we should have a few more physical media shops. Bring it back to East Gardens. Maybe we should bring back some physical media, some selection. That's where I can actually understand this. But as I said, go and watch the Aussie Flipper's video. I'm not going to, like, call him out or anything. I'm just saying I can be on both sides of this. I can understand the negative side of it and I can understand the positive side of it. I don't agree with it personally, but I see a lot of people in the collector community responding to that video, especially on Facebook. So What do you think about scalping and flipping releases when you go in and buy it? I don't know. Go and watch the video. I'll put a couple end screens here. Go and watch everything. Go watch everything all. I did a funny little Spice Girls one in my last one where I picked up, you'll see the thumbnail of A Nightmare on Elm Street and Connery in it. I did a little Spice Girls thing in that. But yeah, let me know what you think of the Aussie Flipper and what you think about that video. It's polarizing at the moment. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.